There's a snazzy intro there, not. Anyway, here's the review. Okay, I'm going to do a quick non-boxing. This is the box that it comes in. It's very small. Unfortunately, I've already taken everything out. So, let's have a quick look anyway. There's a lot of flaps to get into it. But everything was in there. So, I'll just show you quickly. Throw that away. You got all the instruction booklets and warranty information and all that stuff. Get this little remote control for the camera, which is quite nice. You can turn it off and on, and you can change all these settings on the camera as well. So if you want to disable the camera's infrared, you can. If you want to save a bit of battery, but it's got most of the settings on there. I don't know if you can see that. You also get this little lens cover there, just for sunlight and stuff. It's not very big. I think the lens cover is 46mm. Then you get this little thing, totally pointless. I think it's just holding like that and pressing the touchscreen on the thing in case you don't want to get fingerprints on it. You'll obviously get a battery, and then you get the power cable. So that's split into two parts. It's just a kettle going into a brick. That's it pretty much. And then I'll go over the camera now. Okay, so I switched cameras so you can see this one. This is the one I'm reviewing. It's the HS900. Yeah, I'll just give you a quick look at it. Not that you couldn't do this on Amazon already. And then at the top you've got the adapter for if you want to put mic or flash or whatever in there. And then at the front, a little puck out here for microphone, headphones, two different sockets, and then you got the flip screen here, which rotates 180 to face you, or you can do it underneath like that. And then inside here, got space for the SD card, HDMI out and USB, and AV multi out as well. And the battery's here. Well, the battery, probably the thing that looks the worst on the camera because it's not the same colour. There's not really, apart from this edge here, like none of the other edges really line up with it. I think if you look at it from there, it would have looked cooler if it had like followed this edge up here and met that edge there, which is I don't know, just an aesthetic point. You can see it if I close the lid there that it's, I don't know, it's obviously a cost measure, but it's not a cheap camera. And then you get this little handle here, which comes out. It's quite nice in the hand. And then on the side as well, you've got power button. This is the European version, so it's 50p. If you've got the American one, it's 360p. So that's just the frames per second. Press it, you hold it, and it'll switch between high quality and then some other variants. So if you go into the menu, record setup, record mode, you have some options in here for AVHD, HD, and these notations HA, HD, HX, HE, all they just refer to the bit rate. Really, that's really what they're talking about. So if you still want 1080p full HD, but you want it you need more time, then you can clock into those, go into a lower bit rate. Elsewise, everything's on the digital screen, which is touch screen pretty much. There's the record buttons, there's a few. You've got one here for a quick record, there's one on the screen. And you've got a zoom rocker here at the top, and also a zoom on the screen as well, which obviously does it a bit slower. You can also use this ring here, this will be like on a zoom by default. And if you put it into manual and you want to do focus or something like that, then the ring will then control that manual point. Elsewise, everything else is in the digital menu here, so it's all touchscreen. You can go into record setup and like that. It's pretty nice. It's not the world's best touchscreen, but it certainly does the job. So it's on now, and then you can see the lens is open. If you close the lid, it'll sleep. If you want to close the lid and it not to sleep, you pull this out, and you can use the viewfinder the old-fashioned way. There's like little slides there. Change the focus for your eye. It's not too bad. Yeah, it just looks kind of like a like you're looking at a DV film. And at the top as well, you've got the inputs here. This is for the OIS, which is the optical image stabilization, and then this is just the button to switch between automatic and manual mode. And then that is push button for camera, which you can use as you're filming, or you can switch this slot here, put it into camera mode. I have to say the camera is a bit disappointing. I think it's 14 megapixel, but yeah, compared to an DSLR, the photos are a bit shit once you zoom in on them, but not too bad. And then you slide it back here, you get into the play function, and you can look at what the videos were recorded. You have to switch between photos and videos. It'll only display one at a time. So it's kind of nice that it doesn't group them together, because then you can kind of just separate out what you're looking for. And up here, this little bit is the power. You can charge the battery as you're filming. You can charge it without taking the battery out. And on the bottom is the space for the tripod and this little warning label. And there's a little grip as well there. Alright, one other thing, we'll show you the camera flash. So this is the camera flash. It's quite a nice flash, but the photos it takes look like kind of like a digital camera you would have seen about 7 years ago. Okay, so we're going to do a stabilization test outside. This is going to test out the zoom. So I'm going to zoom in 30 times. There we go. Now this has got the stabilization on, and if I just do that, and that's with one hand. Now I'm going to take the stabilization off. Not so good. And then stabilization on. That's not a trick. I'm holding it as still as I can. Maybe if I show it with two hands. If I take stabilization off, try and balance it with two hands, you can see it's still pretty jumpy. And put the stabilization on, you get that nice smoothness. Now if you make any fast movements at this level of zoom, you're still going to get some unsmooth results, but as long as it's not too bad, you know, if I knock it a little bit, I'll just do like a fast swipe, or if I just pan across, I'll try and like level it out. So that's the stabilization on the zoom function. Okay, so now I'm going to just walk. So this is with the stabilization on. I'll do it again, take the stabilization off. So it's not too bad, it doesn't make too much difference on the walking, but again if I'm holding it like that, just with it off and then put it on, it's like it's on a tripod or something like that, much smoother. Okay, so I'm going to do another test now. This time we're just going to test out the maximum zoom that's built in with the camera, which is 700. To be honest, when you go that far it looks pretty shit, so I'll mark through the numbers. That's about 5 times optical. Go up to 10 now. Up to about 20. That's 30. That's where we're at before. Just over. And then that's 50. Starting to blur up. That's about 100. 200, 300, 400, 500, 700. You can see 700 zoom is one of the things advertised on the camera, but it's pretty shocking, pretty pointless even. If you're filming it about there, it's about 70. You're not really gonna miss anything. You know, if you wanted to zoom into something that close, you might as well use it. You could use a computer to get the same resolution as that. Probably even better. So that's the zoom on the camera. Okay, I'm going to take a photo now. Show you what the photo quality is like. You can take a photo while you film. So I press the button now. It will take a picture, and then I'll we'll zoom in on that and have a look what that looks like. I'm just going to look at the some of the manual settings. This is on auto, and you can see there it's not too bad. It just tends to focus on the majority of what's on the screen, but if you wanted to say zoom in on the fence just like that, you'd have to go into manual settings. So I go into focus, manual focus, and then change it down. Oh, I've gone the wrong way, there you go. You'll see on screen as you do it, what's in focus will just turn blue, and you can go closer and try and get it right. There we go. So then if you wanted to set something up like that, you've got a nice way of doing it. And the ring is quite nice to do that on, because a cool like little zoom effect. Okay, I'm going to do one last test. At the moment I'm using an external mic, and I would take the mic out and just compare it to the inbuilt one. So if I just position myself here, because that's about the same distance away from both the mics. So this is the external mic there. That's the internal mic. That's what that sounds like. Now if I'm sat back here, you can hear the difference in the microphones. Okay, I'm just going to look at one of the issues I found with this camera, and that's when you put a fisheye on it. So I'll just screw this on. Obviously you have to turn the optical image stabilization on, otherwise you get a bit of that going on. So I'll just pop that off. So as you can see, the border is not quite in the middle. We zoom in there to one edge. You can see it hasn't quite met the other one, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, so here's some test footage I've shot earlier. See, the colours are quite good, and it's nice and sharp. So it's a nice crisp video. The colours aren't too strong, but if you're into filmmaking and that sort of thing, that's all done in the After Effects really. So it's nice that they're not too saturated, because you can have a play around with it later. So it's HS900. Haven't covered everything, but it's a pretty good rundown of some of the main things about it. And so if that was useful, just maybe like it, comment, subscribe maybe. I don't know.